And what is going on, guys? It has been here.
You're not going to introduce me?
Yeah, but this
do I have to do this myself?
Even so, we did it last time.
And I'm Josh. Hello, welcome back. We're a week late.
Thanks, a week late. Thanks. My birthday.
Thanks, Ben. It's all your fault, by the way.
Party hardy. But
you party hardy this weekend. This should have been your birthday weekend.
Oh God, yeah. Oh.
And you're here on time. I don't know. I had to work last week anyway.
Yeah.
So it all worked out. But we have you said you have some venting to do.
Oh, yes.
A little bit here about since we were gone last week, there was some events that had transpired. Namely in the Darling of the FRANXX universe.
The newbies.
The newbies. We had Bitchigo. As that was one of the hashtags floating around was hashtag Bitchigo.
Which I had called that when you got me into the series that I did not like her and she was going to do something.
I see. I don't know. Maybe it's just blue's like my favorite color, right?
Right.
100%. That's probably at least 75% why I just didn't care at all. Up and probably until this past episode. That's when I actually started caring a little bit more.
I told you. It's all about them pink hair girls, man.
No, you just picked somebody and you're like, it's a bitch.
No, I knew it was going to happen.
You shipped 02 as soon as she came out of the water with a fish in her mouth. That's exactly what happened.
I mean, you are correct on that.
Little presumptuous, but hey, we move on. So let's go ahead and kind of break down what had happened. Episode 14, which was last week. We'll get to this week's episode a little bit later, but basically what happened was after 02 tried to strangle the life out of Hiro, during that there was a flashback from before. They come to figure out everything stopped in the battle they were having, and Ichigo comes and basically takes 02 away from Hiro, and during this whole entire episode, they're not allowed to see each other, which apparently when you do that to this community, everybody does not like that at all.
It's not what I wanted.
It's... people don't understand it. Like, we're literally 14 episodes in at that point.
Yeah, how many is it? 22 episodes?
24.
24, so... We're a little over halfway. We're not done.
Yeah.
Like, if you watch anime, you know there's going to be hard times.
The amount of a shit show that it became when I looked at Reddit right after that episode was absolutely horrible. You go to the anime subreddit where the discussion was completely toxic. They basically had to shut down the Darling and the FRANXX subreddit because people are just absolutely insane. Not to mention what the main thing that I sent you that day, which was the producers, a certain producer, which I don't even think I wrote down his name. Oh yeah, Yuichi Fukushima was actually getting death threats from some people in the community.
Threats
over one episode of a show. Halfway through it,
it's not even done.
Halfway through it, they have 24 more episodes, which is what makes this week's episode so much better.
Yes.
But still, okay, they even went to the point where the voice actor of Ichigo was getting death threats. Now, this is apparently her very first voice
what a way to welcome someone into the community, right?
And you just throw her into a position of a character that she does something that she thought she was doing right. You gotta, when you look at it through Ichigo's eyes, right? She sees somebody who is taking away the person, obviously, that she loves, right?
Yeah.
And she is at that point she was strangling Hiro. 02 was strangling
this
Hiro.
is true.
The life out of him, by the way. Called him fodder previous episodes.
Yes.
Ichigo didn't see the flashback. She's not so bad.
She is bad.
She's kawaii.
No.
What do you mean no? I like her voice actor. How about that?
02 for life.
Okay. Hey, I'm not disputing it. But I'm just saying,
I like a feisty bitch. What can I say?
Okay. See, that's where we differ, I guess.
You can have your little strawberry.
No, see, I don't want it. It's fine.
No,
it's
fine.
I'm not
you can have strawberry.
I'm not making a claim on Ichigo. I'm just saying she's not as bad as everybody's saying, right? There's people getting mad. I'm not gonna lie. I made a couple of ranty posts about it, but at the end, I was always like, okay, let's just see where it goes.
Well, that's what
obviously, they have a plan for this.
Right.
And even after the episode happened, everything blew up. A couple of the people who work at Trigger and A1, they're just like, just wait till next week.
Well, that's just like after I finished, I told you I wasn't happy with it either, obviously, because that's my ship.
Yeah,
but I was just like, it's not over with. I know better. I know way better than to get upset.
Because after last week's, I literally said like, yeah, this is a roller coaster of a show. Because you literally go from flashback to this, and put on top of this episode, this is an actual roller. We just went through a whoop-de-doo. Okay,
a big old whoop-de-doo.
We just went up, down, up. Okay,
up, down, up, turn around, back down.
I hope we're not looking at a down for well, get into that later. But they're actually taking a week off. Of Darling.
Okay.
Which
that's
they're gonna
very
have
saddening.
Yeah. Which I think, from what I've heard, they need to make it last the rest of the season.
Which would make sense.
Which is why they're doing it. Which I don't even think that this. No, it would add up because they have 9 episodes left, and the spring shows are at 3 episodes, so that would make it for most of the shows that are 12 episodes.
Right.
So yeah, the season would end around there. But they're going to be doing kind of a documentary over the making of the show, which is cool. But back to the episode 14. Going from having so many, I guess, I don't even know if it was truly. Well, no, it was questions, right? Questions were answered by it. We got to figure out who the OG Darling was in Hero, and then was left with them kind of looking at each other and like, that was you. And then automatically being pulled away and separated for the entire episode in before Hero could come, right in the worst moment, while 02 is beating the shit out of everybody to call her a monster. And then that was it. It was... and especially looking back at it after watching this past episode, it makes you think like, okay, why do we even need to have that little bit of character development? I don't even know if it was just a little bit of added drama to it, but it made it. At this point, you've kind of finished Ichigo's arc.
Oh yeah, definitely.
At this point, right? She's accepted what has happened, but at the time, like, she was still stuck on. She was gonna make it work. Blah blah blah. But that's where you could. She thought she was doing the right thing. It's fine.
And from all that as well, the rating on Mal, it dropped big time because of that whole thing. I just actually pulled up my Mal, and it had last week's up. It was actually sitting at a 7.9.
Yeah.
It was before like a 8.11, 8.15 dropped down to a 7.9, and now we're sitting at 8.11 again. Yeah, but that's a big drop for a week.
It's like even 7.9 for that episode isn't that bad. It kind of shows you like the dedicated, the people who are not on the edges of this riff that we're having. Like, it's still a good show. Like, some stuff happened, even though it wasn't what we wanted. You just have to, again, it was literally halfway in between. It was halfway through.
But what great anime doesn't do that? Yeah. You want that good roller coaster ride, especially with like a love story.
Yeah, you had the love triangle, and then you had Goro, which honestly is our Lord and Savior.
Lord and Savior.
He is the only guy who has a level head on him, who literally just says, "Just let them talk to each other." Just let him go. What could it hurt? And Ichigo's like, no! And then obviously she kisses Hiro in front of Goro, and Goro just gives the nice little cucked smirk, saying like,
poor Goro.
Goro knew. And Goro, even back when Goro told Ichigo that he loves her, like, he knew. Yeah. Like, she didn't have to say I love you back. It was just like, I just wanted to tell you that. Just straight, hey, nice guys finished last, I guess. And now Goro is just left with... It's just like, now Ichigo's kind of like, all right, well, after going through Hiro's mind, Goro, I guess you'll do, bro. I guess you're nice enough.
I think, honestly, it was like she kind of swore off relationships. Remember, she said she didn't understand the boy-girl thing?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, she said she was tired of it, because that's what the entire... Because their kids coming up who have never been taught this. Right. They don't watch movies about it. Their parents don't. They don't have parents to base love off of or whatever. Right. So they don't understand until they actually hit this, and they're like, what the hell am I feeling? What am I feeling at this point? So it's an interesting dynamic to put them through. But what was I gonna say? But going into this next episode, episode 15 that you just watched,
right?
And then I watched about 4 or 5 times. Mainly the part when they actually get together, but at the end of last episode, they talked about Nana and I forget the other guy's name, or the kids call him. They talked
Papa?
about Papa's like the leader, the guys who are in the aerial base up above wherever they are, but they're the guys making all the decisions. But the kids come to find out about the Grand Crevice, which is apparently a Klaxor making machine.
Right.
Which turns out to be this giant. What was it called? It was a Lehman class, a super Lehman class.
Lehman class, right? This thing was a ship. Came out of the ground. It was a ship.
It was literally
destroyed a plantation in like seconds.
Yes. It was, and again with the squad that we saw earlier, was it Squad 26? I have it down here.
Right, yeah, Squad 26.
Their plantation gets down. Which one thing to really point out was the aging of the captain of Squad 26.
Right.
I don't remember exactly which episode it was from, but they talked with Squad 13, our squad that we're following, a little bit about. Just in general, and it was obvious that Squad 26 knew about things that Squad 13 didn't. Obviously about becoming adults.
Right.
And we kind of see that because we see the captain of Squad 26 fighting with the rest of the squad, and he has gray hair, and he looks a little beat up, which kind of plays into, what is the physical toll of what these kids are getting put through? Maybe them specifically, because it hasn't happened to our group yet.
Right.
Which is probably why Squad 13 is the test group. Maybe they're doing things a little bit differently, but it looks like normally, like the woman that we had back in the Zorome when he got lost,
right.
in the underground city, like. Those adults might not be that old.
Yeah, they might not be as old as we think they are.
Yeah.
With the way they look.
Yeah, because, which she had her husband and everything, and it's all that part of it. The rest of the world, we still know nothing about.
We know nothing about.
We know that these plantations run off magma. They need magma. Other than that, it's just like, okay, there's these plantations. The kids are bred to do this and that and protect everybody. But in the rest of this episode, like it was all centered around 02 and Hero reuniting, which from what I saw, and it was probably just everybody being really salty about the last episode, but I think one of my comments that I put up, I said, cool, now we're going to have a bunch of melodramatic action happening.
Right.
And then it's going to be episode 22. They're finally going to get back. And it's going to be a big, powerful thing, but I don't want to wait that long for that to happen. But it happened.
Our boy Goro.
The very next episode, Gore Bro, as they're calling him.
Yes.
I saw that, like, there's a couple of pictures that got photoshopped as like Jesus, and he's sitting down there, and as 02 and Hero right below him, God Bro, Goro, Go Bro, like there's so many different nicknames for him, but he really is the homie. He really is the homie.
He's the savior of the ship.
He finally was just tired of putting up with Ichigo's shit, and finally just said, "Look, just let him talk. Ichigo, take him to 02." And which 02 was going
crazy,
like 85% Klaxosaur.
Oh yeah,
like she was.
Horns are like attached to the
I don't even
FRANXX
know
and everything. That was kind of crazy.
That's never happened before.
Right.
So she's, yes, I think because in the separate lines that were being put up randomly throughout the episode, like the lines are blurring, which I guess means that she was going to become
more likely to become full Klaxosaur. Yeah.
And then Hero finally comes in. Tries to link up, is not able to link up, finally goes and grabs the bull by the horns, and apparently sees all, I guess as you link, like you do see memories, the memories, right? Which is what Ichigo saw. Yeah, because, okay, so before we get into that, let's go back to Ichigo real quick. when Goro gave Hiro the seat and like just take him to 02.
Right.
They linked up, like Ichigo and Hiro linked up like that, and that was probably based off the determination of Hiro.
Definitely, getting back to 02.
Yeah, like Hiro he didn't care. He didn't care. He needs 02, and she needs him, and that was going to be it. So they linked up automatically, and so Ichigo gets all. She finally sees into his
Hiro's mind and what he wants, and sees that literally 02 is his life.
It's all 02.
It's all 02.
And she's just like, okay, well, it's her. I guess there's no room for me. And
thank God.
Yeah. And
thank God.
But then there was that scene when they actually get to 02 and they have to fight for whatever reason.
Yeah, it was just like Ichigo was just like, I'm gonna let you have him, but I'm gonna fight you for a minute about it. And it's like 02's gonna destroy you.
Yeah. When I saw it the first time, I was like, this is very unnecessary. This should not be happening. Like, why not just come up, stick your face in its mouth, and then just let Hiro go.
No.
But no, they had to go and knock the Delphinium, its helmet off.
Right.
And so you have this hair, I guess.
Yeah, it was really weird to see that when I saw that pink little
because it's
like top.
Yeah, because it's like her hair, because you got the one hair over the eye.
Right.
But I was just like, that looks a little weird. Looked a little sea-like it was some seaweed. Some pink seaweed. But finally, going back, and Hiro grabs hold of the horns and goes and sees into her mind. I guess it's kind of a mixture of a flashback, because we see that, or I guess it could have been her memories, but they're both laying on the table getting their memories erased, and 02, well, they're having some hard times getting 02's memories erased, because something, however she's doing it.
She oddly, like, from what I got from it, she oddly, like, somehow, her being her, like, animal monster state.
Yeah.
She noticed through tasting her blood, she could keep the memories, because that's how there's that thing going on with Hiro and them talking about him tasting her blood.
Yeah.
Which kind of brought up to me, like, maybe does he have some Clock Star blood flowing to him now because of that?
I think it's pretty much confirmed.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking when I saw that.
There's no way that... Now, going into why they can ride together, now, is it because he's part Klaxosaur now? Because they did say during the flashback that, he's not going to be what he was.
Right.
Which is why he couldn't connect. But was that because he had made that pact with 02?
Yeah, I'm confused on, is it the pact and, like, the love that they have for each other?
Yeah.
Or is it the blood? Which it could be both.
Yeah, it could be. It would make sense, because that was the way that the adults kind of pushed it out as, like, he ingested her blood. He won't be the same. He's not going to be a team number again, the elite like he was, and from then on he wasn't able to he wasn't the same. But as you said, 02 was able to keep a little bit of those memories by tasting her own blood, ingesting her own blood. I don't know if she had to do that every single time she wanted to remember him or not, or if she just tasted him one time and it was done. But it seems like at least in the back of her mind, like, she knew. She might not have, because at least through the animation and everything, like, that's baby Hiro, like,
right,
100%. Now I don't know if traumatic events, enough brainwashing to maybe she just remembers the event happening, and
maybe the face is like, the person's blurry. She just knows it was this one character, the darling.
Yeah, and so in the flashback, we see her get taken away. We see the actual, the first 3 words that she learned was Boku, which is the masculine of I, or in a way. Then there was her name 02, and then there was darling.
Right.
The first words that she ever learned. And then we pull back out, the horns break, to where they're just chipped off.
Right. And then she's basically mainly back to normal.
Yeah, no, she's
like,
back.
Once he, like, accepted her and, like, just told her, hey, we just need to, like, talk.
Yeah.
And, like, figure this out together.
Now, one thing I do want to talk about is how the voice actors actually did with this, because when the first, obviously when she comes back out of her just being fully in the Stampede mode, she says darling and everything, but then when Hero tries to embrace her, that line that comes out, like, no, don't look at me, like, that kind of tone has never been used by Zero Two. Like, obviously she's very different in this, and
she's very crippled. Like, you're catching her at a really weird state. She's not like so confident anymore. She's back to, I guess, the young 02 that's scared of everything.
Yeah, there was just so much emotion in that the voice actors were able to pull out. Like, it was
very emotional episode.
Yeah, like hearing a part of Hero, we kind of heard that kind of emotional yelling, but this was more of it was just back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. And then finally, they were able to, Hero just kisses her, and then that starts it. They get foam up in the sky by one of the Klaxosaurs, and then the transformation begins.
The ultimate FRANXX.
The ultimate. I don't know how I feel about the red. I kind of like the white.
I think the red
balanced in. The red's definitely. It's just different. I don't know. I really like the design of the main white. Then you had the gold, and then you had the red.
I dig the red, all red. That was kind of cool to me.
The red's definitely badass. The whole transformation was badass, and then obviously you get them yelling each other's names back, and then finally 02 says I love you, and then
we finally get the I love you from them both.
Both, like, finally this is the transformation of just. They're on the same page. They're literally on the same page now. Like, this is which brings up, like, what is going to happen next with it. So, obviously there's that big ass hand that came out of the ground to worry about.
The big old baby arm.
It's not a baby arm.
It looked like a baby arm. It was just like rounded and a little tiny hand, like a big old baby arm.
That's a big ass baby. That's a big ass baby. He came up and he took the babies. He took the cores. It took the cores or whatever. I'm thinking the whole Earth is a Klaxosaur.
Right. That's.
And then it's going to be, from what I've heard, I haven't watched it, but like Gurren Lagann, right? You're just going to have to start throwing like galaxies at the bitch or something.
Pretty much.
It's going to be, because when I saw it and I was like, okay, so that's the leader, I presume. That's the
big boy.
The main house. But there's also the point where there was a core that was opened up and a human came out of it, which is very, very odd.
Yeah, it was really weird looking.
It kind of makes you think, is that where are the humans the Klaxosaurs, or is that like something of like that 02 and the 9s,
right,
of the not so human people? Can the Klaxosaurs create people, or like why would there even, what business would a human body have inside of a Klaxosaur core?
The only thing I was kind of floating toward was just gonna be way off the point, but maybe that's like humans piloting the Klaxosaurs.
That's interesting.
Because maybe we don't know much about the world and what happened, so maybe it's this big battle against the, in quotations, elites and the humans.
See, that's the thing. So far, we know a lot about the characters, right? We know a lot about the characters, at least the main squad. As for anybody else, we don't know.
No.
The world, I think it was told before that why the way the world looks at the moment, it's just barren, is because magma was found to be very
profitable source of energy.
Yes, and they needed to get it a lot out of it really quick, and it just tarnished the world basically. Right. Which would kind of explain that. But what are Papa and the others doing? Like, what is their main goal? They say that they're on the like the doorstep of the liberation of humanity or whatever. Right. But you can't help but think that there's an ulterior motive somewhere within this.
There's an evil character somewhere in this.
It has to be. The final boss has to be the I think they're all just called APE. it has to be them.
I'm thinking somehow maybe 02 in here because they want to see the world. I think they're going to find out some bad things about Papa and the organization that they fight for.
Yeah, if they get out and they're able to see, because I mean, on the beach episode we did see
they let them go there, but that's because they knew what was there.
Yeah,
right.
There was that little town that was like, wow, it looks like the place that we live, right? So this is far advanced society, but they put the kids in this, pre-post-apocalyptic, before. No, yes, is what just happened.
That's the great thing about doing these things live.
But they put them in that situation where they're just living like, I guess you and me would be living for the most part. There's nothing really different besides they get to fly big mechs, and there's a doctor with half his face metal, which we still don't. They did refer to him as like Wegner, I think.
Yes, they did. They did.
Which I saw a video of somebody putting that to Wegner's disease, which was like it ages you quickly, which could go into.
See, I didn't know about this. You didn't tell me about this. That would make sense with you saying with the kids getting older quicker and
I looked at it and I was like, okay, but why? The whole thing is just like, but why?
There's so many questions. We brought up last podcast. The more episodes you get into, the more questions pop up that don't get answered.
Yeah, and if you remember the lady that Zorome found,
she actually shows back up in the plantation when they're fighting, and they randomly show her again.
And if you notice her heart, right? So Wegner's, from what the guy said, I'll have to confirm this on my own because I didn't really go into it, but it has to do with your cardiovascular,
right?
So, and your heart. So, I mean the Wegner thing, it's a total theory, but it just sounds things are fitting in way too perfectly.
Yeah, it makes a lot of sense actually.
Yeah. So I want to talk about the Nines.
I was just about to bring this up.
The group that I guess 02 was mainly piloting for, and I don't know why she was removed from them.
I think she just didn't want to be a part of it. She's very on her own. Yeah. Like, does not give a shit.
Yeah, either that or I guess she didn't have. Again, it could go back to the thing where she was just devouring people, basically, who were piloting with her, which at the beginning of episode 15, we see that, or we hear that, she devoured everybody who was brought up to supply her for this big battle, which was like 20 dudes.
All gone.
They had the best sex of their life, but like they were gone in 60 seconds. Like, it's done.
Right.
But the Nines, they're an odd group. They make reference to that they're not human, at least fully.
Right.
But they don't have horns.
Well, when they were in the suits, they had little horns that were glowing.
But everybody has that. Like when you're piloting, you have those glowing horns pop up.
I guess I just never really noticed them.
Yeah, because I saw somebody post about it, and they're like, but they had the horns on there, and then somebody else said, you have that when the pistols have that when they're piloting. Okay. And I went back and looked, and out of the two circles on the top of like the quote unquote helmet, the top piece that goes over their head, horns pop out of there. But the roles were switched, so you had
it was really odd.
You had the girls piloting the guys, but the guys were also able to just fully control themselves, because let's just say in our unit, our group, the girls just go into it and they're being piloted, whatever. They don't really have any say, at least when the comms come up on the side, it's the picture, like for Ichigo it'll be the face of the Delphinium, right? And so they don't have control of their bodies, but the Nines seem like they do, and obviously they're the elite of the elite, so they are able to just take out everything, right? But they're definitely, it's definitely odd to see. It kind of seems like they're not too entirely important, at least after this episode. They were just like, all right, she's back or whatever, let's 02's back, let's go. And I don't know if we'll see more of them, but I'd imagine if we're getting closer and closer to quote unquote liberating humanity,
we're going to see more of them. I think
that we'd have to see more of them.
And I'm really curious with them, and like you were saying, how the that they can have more control of themselves. I'm wondering if that whole group, like we talked about earlier before the podcast, if they all have Klaxosaur blood in them. Maybe not, maybe as much as Zero 2, obviously, because they don't have horns.
Yeah.
But I really, because they had no problems piloting it. It's like they're piloting it themselves, just like she does.
Yeah.
It was very similar to that, and that was kind of, I was just like, oh, okay. That would explain why they're like the elite of the whole group.
Yeah, I mean, they have to have, because there's no other creature in the world that, in their world that they could be a part of other than the Klaxosaurs. And so I guess they just have this ultra stamina. They have this, they're just built differently, right? And the alpha, which I guess when you get to the 9s, right, they're not determined by their number. They're just alpha, beta, stuff like that as they go down. And he says I think he tells Squad 13, our squad, that not, or no, maybe it was 26, so like not bad for humans, which I guess they've just fully embraced it, that they're not one, while 02 on the other hand is like, no, I want to be human.
Oh yeah.
But it's going to be very interesting going forward to see, and we'll have to wait.
Very excited. I like to keep this going.
We'll have to wait 2 weeks.
It's one of those I definitely look forward to every week. Like on my Saturday, I'm like, hey.
Saturdays are pretty big for anime. There's a lot of good shows, and one I actually want to get to after we take a quick break. We'll play the OP and everything so that you know what it is. But I'm just going to go ahead and tell you, we're going to talk about the SAO alternative.
I'm very excited to
Gun
talk about
Gale
this.
Online. So we're going to take a quick break, and we'll talk to you after this little break.
We'll be back. And we're back, guys, with the Sword Art Online alternative, which actually isn't that bad.
It's not bad. I haven't watched the Gun Gale season of SAO, so I cannot.
Shame.
I'm 4 episodes in, but there's just too much. I burned through the first one, and I didn't mind it. I didn't mind the fairyland.
Yeah, that, like I told you, that's kind of, you gotta grind that one out.
I didn't mind it. The only thing I didn't like about it was, obviously, I think the reason that most everybody else didn't like it is Asuna was locked up.
Yeah.
Because I mean, that and Kirito was OP AF, but
he was OP AF in the first season, so
yeah.
He's going to be regardless.
Yeah.
But I think why everybody didn't like it is because you get the first season when they're stuck in the game, she's a total badass.
Yeah.
We go to Alfheim and she's this damsel in distress, and it's like, why even do that?
Yeah. She was just in the first season. They made reference to her. The only person who could probably beat Kirito was Asuna.
Right.
Like, that's just how good she was. And once we get to Alfheim, like, or whatever it was called, I don't even remember.
Alfheim.
Yeah, Alfheim. She doesn't do anything. She's just like, and then you have the tentacle scene, but whatever. Okay, so we're moving on.
Whoa.
to Karen's journey, as her tallness is walking around,
bumping heads on signs.
She's not really feeling herself, so she decides to get her friend's advice on buying a VR system, so she can play a VR MMORPG game, in which her friend's just like, here's the stuff. She buys it.
Which was Alfheim, the first one.
Alfheim was the first one, and then she came in and she was tall AF still.
Yeah.
So she cycles through a couple of games until she gets to Gun Gale Online, where she's this short little chibi character.
She still had to grind out to get that character.
Yeah. I mean, it took a long time. Like, and with the heart rate monitor that was put on there, like, she
every
was
time
flipping
she see how tall
out.
she was, and it cut off because her heart rate would just skyrocket.
She was flipping out, but she finally got it. And the first episode that I saw, I immediately thought, not reading because it's based off a light novel,
right?
I saw it and I was just like, okay, it's Battle Royale in show form. They're just hooking on to the trend and that's all it is. And I was just like, okay, whatever, I don't care. I even went, actually at Books A Million, they had the light novel there, and I just kind of flipped through it, trying to find where this Battle Royale sequence was. And like in the first couple of chapters, or probably at least the first couple of pages in it, like I didn't see it. I just thought, cool, it was tacked on because it's cool now. And we see through episode 3 that just aired today, or yesterday, that no, that was part of the game. It's part of the game. I don't know if this was written as Battle Royale was getting
You got shut down. It's okay.
Yeah. Yeah. I was immediately just like, all right, cool. This is going to suck. It's just playing off Battle Royale. But
mainly
no.
the BOB, that was a big Battle Royale in a sense. Not Team Battle Royale, but... Yeah.
But we have Lynn, as she's known in Karen's known in game. And what did you think about the tutorial that she got put through?
I thought it was great. It was so hardcore for her little cuteness.
It was hardcore, and that's one thing that I like about it. Now, as it goes right now, it's hard for me to like a show about a game,
right?
Without it being the first half of the season of SAO, where it like actually means something, right? It has to be life or death, because once you put characters in a game and it's like, oh no, I'm about to die, and then they just wake up in their bed, take the headset off, go get them something to drink, and make a peanut butter and jelly sandwich. Like it has no consequences. So at this point in the story, through episode 3, I just don't see anything that's like.
Well, with her though, we get that sense because she's still terrified to like get into combat, so she kind of has that like I don't want to die sense. I guess that's to help with people like you. I don't know.
But even through, because I'm gonna guess that they're not gonna just carry on and redo the entire BR sequence that we got in the first episode. So like we know what's gonna happen, and we know that she gets hella comfortable in it.
Oh yeah,
and
hiding in what was it, a suitcase, right?
Yeah, a suitcase. I don't know how she did it.
I don't know either.
I'm pretty sure it defies physics, but
I think that has to do with her being that small character, or like in her agility from her height.
Yeah,
with that character combo so odd, that's why she's so fast.
Even being able to hide, literally make yourself like 2 inches, right, and be able to sit up under. But you have to remember it's a game,
right?
So you have stats, you have abilities, right, that allows you to be, like when she's in the desert, she's pink. Nobody can see her.
Right.
Which clearly, when you look through the TV, there she is. Look at her. She's right there. So it's a little weird. I'm still not fully behind it. I'm definitely going to keep watching. But you have Pito, which is her girl that she finds in the desert, that ends up not killing her, because she's just like, oh, this is the little pink devil, as she's known in the game.
The pink devil.
That's going around PKing everybody for whatever reason, because that's just what she wants to do.
I think it was just she was so scared to run into people because of the tutorial.
Yeah.
She got so into the tutorial and didn't know nothing about games. That she just thought everybody's out to get her when they were hunting monsters.
She did the tutorial AI. I'm gonna guess is an AI. I don't know if it's a real person or not, but she definitely said like it's better just to shoot first. Just shoot them first. It doesn't matter because they're gonna kill you, which is true with most of the games.
Right.
You might as well just kill them because they're gonna kill you. And if they get mad, don't feel bad because they're like, I didn't kill them.
And then because of the AI, she gets known as this badass PKer.
Yeah. And we get to know, I guess, a little bit more about Pita. There's something in the outside world, and I'm just gonna go ahead and say it. Writing up this doc, I went to go get some character information, and it obviously had light novel generalizations for it. Mm-hmm. So I know who Pita is. I have a
very good idea who it is, and I know I'm right.
Who do you think it is?
Well, I know. But see, if I talk about this, I'm gonna give you spoilers at Gun Gale.
No, it's fine. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and have you tell it. It's nothing to do with the previous SAO.
damn, I thought Kirito was gonna show up.
No, why would they do that? It's an alternative.
Yeah, but I just had a feeling because of his character in Gun Gale.
That would defeat the purpose of
But
it
his
being
character in Gun Gale, that's why.
Okay, other than Kirito, do you have any other assumptions to who it could be? Think about this.
But it doesn't relate to any characters from.
It's all
alternative, just completely different.
This story.
Okay. So, her friend.
No.
No.
Think about who else they really stressed on this episode. Who was like for whatever reason, her name was put up there. What she does is up there.
Now you got me on the spot.
No, what do you mean?
I suck at this.
Okay, who was she writing the letter to? Why did we need to know? Why did we need to know? Because
no way.
Because you got to think.
Yeah.
PETA couldn't play the BR, the squad jam.
She couldn't, and
because she had a wedding.
She said that she couldn't get tickets, and old dude, the bigger character, was like, "Oh, you couldn't get tickets."
Yeah. Oh, you couldn't get any. Yeah. It's
okay.
It's her favorite singer. That's
so crazy.
Because literally, when I went to go to PETA's description, it literally said, "Is Lynn's favorite singer," and I was like, "What? You can't just do that. Can I have some show information real quick?" And so immediately then I just closed it down and I just went to go watch a couple of the shows just to get my descriptions for it. But I was like, okay, there's a spoiler. Nice. I guess that works. So that makes it a little bit interesting, which I guess we're going to find out next episode that that's who it is. Maybe. Or they might, they can't draw it on that long. But who knows? They might. But it's definitely interesting with it.
And the bigger character that I was talking about earlier is M. It just took me a second to remember his name.
It's just M.
Yeah.
His name's just M.
M. Who...
I'm thinking,
seems kind of like a trained killer at this point. He knows quite a lot.
Yeah. Here's my theory and why I didn't want to say it earlier, because I wanted to establish that PETA is the singer, right?
Right.
I'm gonna guess that M is something of like a bodyguard or something like that. Yeah.
Like now that you told me this,
too much.
Yes.
Way
the
too
whole
much.
Knife scene was wicked.
I'm sitting there thinking he's probably a big dude in real life. Yeah, I'm gonna guess that he's like on bodyguard detail or somebody, not even really close to her, but he has to have some kind of,
especially when we get
either that or he's just ex-military and it's just close to.
But it would make sense with the bodyguard thing when him talking about what rifle he uses because he likes to be further away. He could be on sniper duty for something because
that's pretty serious.
Yeah.
I don't know about sniper duty. That seems pretty heavy. It's like presidential stuff.
I mean, they have that for big singers.
Do they have sniper duty in Japan?
What
are guns like in Japan? You're a gun guy. What about guns in Japan?
Guns in Japan?
I don't think they're around very much, to be honest.
I don't know the laws over there, to be honest.
I feel like there's none.
We got enough going on over here.
That's what I'm saying. Like compared to us. Like there's guns anywhere, cool. But like you look anywhere else, they're usually pretty strict on it. Which I don't know. I think at least the gun part of it, like it's all in game. But like being able to really, because even knowing that stuff for a bodyguard,
just
at least
what he knows. That's what I'm saying.
He's something
big. He's something big.
At least to me, it just seems a little much for bodyguard. Like, you just come bump a couple dudes out, maybe choke them out or something. This dude's over here talking about slicing them in the upper arm to get the gun out. Like, I mean, maybe it's just the private bodyguard. I think even the way that they talked, I don't even think there's a loving relationship in terms of, like, a romantic relationship.
Right.
But it's going to be interesting to see who he actually is.
Oh, I'm very excited because he's just such a mysterious character.
Yeah, and he's honest. He like PETA said, he's a big mountain of a man, but he's
that was so funny, dude.
He's a good guy. He's a good guy. Which I mean,
big mountain of a man. He's just
like hello, Lin Chan. Can I drop the Chan because that's not my thing? It's like, okay, yeah.
And then he puts her through those crazy
Oh, yeah.
test
Yeah.
to learn her abilities.
Because he was going to exploit her. That's
Yep.
why she's the leader. Which it figures out what his plan was
Right.
for the most part during the first episode.
Yeah, we find that out.
Because Lynn was like, I'm being used as bait. And I was like, yeah, that's why you have the tracker on you. But yeah, so next week, obviously learn more. I think this is another 12 episode show. Right now it's sitting at a 7.33, which is a little low.
That is a little low.
But coming off of what SAO has been known for the past, from at least what I've heard of the past season, it looks okay. It looks okay. I'm sure once we get to the meatier actual plot of the show, it'll get a lot better. But as for right now, like the OP's fine. The art's, about the same. It's Gun Gale. It's not like it's totally something brand new for everybody to watch.
It's definitely a world we already know.
What?
It says definitely a world we already know.
Yeah, for sure. For some reason, I thought you were saying, like, the name of the song. I don't know why that was, like, the first thing I thought of. I'm like, dude, that's, like, in the past, dog. Like, why are you even bringing that up?
I'm actually looking on my mount. The scores, it's about the same. You got Sword Arts online, the original's a 7.5, Alternative's 7.3, and Gun Gale is a 7.2. So I guess it's kind of staying around the same thing.
Yeah, I think that's what you get with kind of a popular name like that, obviously.
And it's one of those you either love it or you hate it.
Yeah, that's the problem. But even
it's got some plot holes to it. I easily look past them, but some people are too far into it and be like, "Oh no, this is too much."
You get too anal on it, you're just gonna ruin the show,
right?
For you, which is when I started looking through shows and watching shows, and then that's why I hate to go watch the reviews. Because it points out the flaws that I maybe look at, and I'm just like, I don't care. I just like the show. Just let me like the show.
Right.
Even though most of the time when they're pointing out the flaws, they're not saying, like, this show sucks, which unless you're the one guy who shits on SAO all the time. You should watch a couple of those videos. It's a guy named Mother's Basement. He makes a living off of just shitting on SAO. And
I've had plenty of arguments with people about SAO.
It's funny. You should. I want to see a reaction for one. We'll have to do reaction videos. That's what we should do. No. That's We'll get into this during the. Well, no, fuck it. We'll just do it now. Whatever. But like the My Hero game coming out, right?
Right.
It's a fighting game.
Of course.
We'll do Let's Plays of fighting games, right? You got a PS4. I got a capture card. We could do this.
I'm down.
But I don't know when it's gonna come out. 2018 at some point. But we could probably do it.
Oh, yeah.
Because we only need one console anyway. But speaking of My Hero, I'm actually going to throw it to another break. Listen to this, what was it called? Odd World, Odd Future.
Right.
OP. It was kind of weird in the beginning when I heard it.
Definitely not a fighter type intro.
It doesn't fit what's going on behind it at all.
No.
Like, the drops don't happen at the Super Saiyan moments. It's very weird, but we'll get into it. Enjoy a little snippet from this intro, and we'll see you in a bit.
And we're back again.
Now time to get into... this is going to be another little short segment. I think we could kind of tie this into the next show, Persona 5. But first, get into My Hero Academia. Episode 3 came out, and again, there's not really too much...
It's slowly building up for what we see is going to be a big battle, but it's just been kind of a slow roller coaster click up, you know?
Yeah, I mean, next episode, this is obviously a setup episode.
Definitely.
We get to figure out a little bit more of the kid. What's his name? Coda? Coda, who obviously Midoriya confronts him about his parents. And as a kid probably would, he just says, F off, dude. I don't want to talk about it.
But he did strike a little chord with him.
He did.
Because after Midoriya walked away, he, like, got that little emotional.
Yeah, like, he knows. He knows that, I think deep down inside, that it's what he has against heroes and stuff is a little irrational, which makes me think that he's going to be a damsel coming up, because we did see that he was alone in his hiding spot and somebody came up from behind him.
Yep.
And which, he's probably going to really like heroes after what happens to him, because he's going to really hate villains. Or he may not. But we get the sequence of the kids training again.
Gruesome.
It's very odd. It was hilarious. I laughed the first time you just saw Bakugo putting his hand in boiling water to make him sweat.
Right.
And then he just up in the sky as hard as he can. And they just do this stuff over and over and over to tear their muscle fibers in order to make their quirks grow stronger. All around, there's just not that much to talk about in this episode. It's, again, like, it's just set up. In the end, we see the League of Villains. One that looks, the lizard-looking one that looked exactly like Stain. Which I think half of the people that are at this little squad of the League of Villains, half of them are following the actual League of Villains, Mr. Handface, because I can't remember his name. They're following his ideals. And then the other half, which I'm going to guess is part of the guy who looks like Stain, they're following his ideals.
Right.
So it was just kind of they joined the League of Villains because that was like the only place that really had their common goal. So I'm going to guess that at least half of the guys who were in that group were against the quote-unquote heroes acting like heroes for their own selfish ways.
And hand-face guy is
Tomura.
There we go, Tomura.
He looks weird.
Okay? He's really out of character.
He's really bitchy.
Oh, yeah.
He's bitchy.
He's like lost it.
All he does is decay stuff. What fun is that? He has to touch them. It's no fun. But yeah, it's a build up. We see that the kids are doing this little Halloween thing. They're just scaring each other. I forget what that was even supposed to do.
It's a courage challenge. I think it was for them to have fun.
Probably. Ida turned it into a thing where it's like, they're trying to test us. They're making us better. And I'm sitting there, I was like,
Ida. They're
just scaring you guys. Like, that's it. Nothing more, nothing less.
I think my favorite thing about watching them go through the gruesome growing their quirks was our boy Dinky.
Dude, I don't understand
Poor guy.
I don't understand what that was supposed to be doing.
He's like charging these like battery cell. And he's just straight going dumb.
He goes dumb. Like he actually. So wait, here's my question. If he does that, does he actually go dumb? Because wouldn't he be replenished? Or would he not? Or would he just go like extra dumb?
I think he was constantly dumping electricity in this. I think he went extra dumb for that one.
Because we did see him after when they got back to
the dinner.
Yeah, he was gone.
He
like
just white face.
He was not there. He was not there at all.
That was great.
One that I didn't really understand was Midoriya. Like, he's over there doing those, like, just...
weird little,
like, lunge type things.
Let's go.
Yeah, like, how is that? I guess he just has strength, so you just work out, I guess. And then you had the Pussycats.
Yes.
Which I think in this doc that I have, the other two that showed up I did not have. So I don't remember their names. But one's a guy who just has straight brute strength. And there's another one that has some kind of... I think it was something to do with the mind. Because one can tell people what to do. Oh, I think they can see what... No. There's... Who was it? There was Mandalay.
Yawara. That's the big guy.
Yawara. Scary ass dude.
Yeah.
Plus ultra. Plus, show me plus. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. But you had Mandalay, who was she could advise people, basically
Telepath.
Yeah, she could communicate. Well, not even communicate because she can't hear what's happening.
But she can just tell them.
Yeah, she can tell them. And then you had Pixie Bob, which is very weird. I think when I looked it up on the wiki, again, if you're not going to read the manga, don't go on the wiki.
Oh, I know better. I know better. I could have told you this.
I went there looking for information. Luckily, these guys did not have very many spoilers. And because there was one that showed up that I don't want to say that was a little bit too far that I saw, and I was like, which nobody died or anything. It was just kind of a plot element that was going to happen later on. But Pixie Bob, she has her core is called Earth Flow, which she could just reshape the Earth, whatever. It's not strength or anything. She just can, Earth, do this. So they're supposed to be the trainers for the UA students, and as Midori asks, like, where's All Might? So they're keeping most of the teachers away because they don't want the League of Villains to come, and lo and behold, the League of Villains
already there
still come, which they wanted the kids anyway. Why not have All Might there?
Yeah, that was the whole point.
Yeah, do they not want All for One to come in? Who knows? Just like bring that we have to kill All Might right now. No, they still want the kids, and we see that they're going to be in trouble. But again, it just cuts off, and that's all.
I was just starting to get into the episode, and it cut off, and I was like, "Oh man!"
It's just like, okay,
it's been so much
action.
building. Like, I'm just ready for some action.
I just really hope that it doesn't look like they're gonna do what Dragon Ball's done when there's let's just throw episodes out with tons of filler and nothing happens.
Filler. Ugh.
It's definitely. Hopefully, it doesn't turn into a normal Shonen Jump anime.
Right, like with their Naruto and
literally everything else that they do. Even the newest one, Black Clover, which I wouldn't even. The last episode of Black Clover that came out, just to update this, because this is...
We did talk about this last
time. It's a 51 episode show as of right now. Woo! And it's this past episode, they basically went to a dating thing, right? And nothing happened. There's 3 guys from the team that main character's on, and then there's the girl who's uppity, and she's royalty, but she doesn't know how to use her magic, and so she obviously likes the main character, and she follows them going to this dating arrangement, and gets jealous, blah blah blah. I was expecting something totally different from this past episode, and then I was like, cool, this is filler.
Yep.
I don't like it at all because nothing happens, but I really like how My Hero Academia is being struck down to 24 episode seasons, like at the most.
Right.
And they're not just creating it just to create it and not having it be an ongoing thing. Even though they could do that.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Because
it already has a big enough following for it.
Yeah. And when I first started getting into watching these shows, a lot of people reference, like, I just like shows that end. I like the 12 episodes. And I thought, like, no, but the biggest ones, they're like Dragon Ball and Naruto, and those never end. And then getting into it and actually watching it, and
you see why.
There's so many shows out there. The thing that I like about anime now is that they're short, compact, 20-minute episodes, 12 episodes a season, and I feel like I get so much more than half of the regular TV shows that are on.
Right.
You look at, like, just say Breaking Bad, Walking Dead, hell, even like Game of Thrones, which Game of Thrones is something that regulates itself, obviously, to 10 episodes a season, so they could really fill it out. But I mean, an hour show, you really see like how much these anime producers are actually doing to put so much content into a show, and then by the end of it, I'm fully connected with the characters.
Right.
If something drastic happens, I'm crying. And then even throwing the Your Lie in April, which had like 22 episodes, it was just like that was...
See, that's where I resonate. A good 22 episode series, like 20, in the 20s. That's what I like. That's perfect for me personally.
Because even there, I don't know if you've watched this show Anohana.
I haven't.
Have you watched it?
I haven't.
Okay, well, it was one of those where I kind of looked up. I watched Your Lie in April. What should I watch next? And that was one of them. So I went and watched it, and it was another one of those that it was definitely emotional at the ending, but I kind of wish there was more episodes so I could learn, or more stuff could happen within the characters.
Right.
But there was obviously some plot points that were stopping from doing that. But you should watch Anohana. It's on Crunchyroll. It's older. I forget when it came out, but I mean it's stuck at 480p. But it was definitely a good show. But yeah, I mean, My Hero, back to it. It's sitting at an 8.5 right
sitting
now.
High, sitting good.
I think that's just all based off the name and the OP and everything else.
Do we think this is going to be the last season?
No.
You don't think so?
No. I've heard this is going to be the best season compared, talking about which, I mean, obviously it's hard to not think about what's going to happen when Midoriya is all alone, hinting at what might happen to All Might after this season. At least from what I've heard. Again, don't go on the wiki because there were some almost bad things that happened to me. I've contemplated reading the manga just to do it. I just want to know what happens. Because you go look on the subreddits, everything else, there's people saying, like, this is going to be the best season ever. These are the best 3 arcs that they have. There's going to be 3 arcs. There's, like, I remember 2 of them. There's the camp that they're at right now. This is going to be 1 arc. And then the last arc will be them getting their hero license.
Okay.
I forget the one in the middle, but I think I remember it, and I think that was one of the spoilers. It's not too big, but basically Bakugo gets captured, and that's going to be a plot point. So I think that's the middle plot point that happens.
That would make sense with the beginning of My Hero.
Yeah.
Then Midoriya comes back, saves him. Oh man,
he's gonna be very pissed.
Or
maybe he doesn't. Maybe he gets a little bit of character development within it. But yeah, I think it might be the last season. I doubt it though.
Because sometimes with anime and manga, the anime will end way before the manga ends.
I think as long as there's story to be told, like My Hero is gonna be
definitely. Yeah, you're right with it being bigger. Yeah. Like a bigger anime.
Yeah, especially with the amount of hype that this season has going around it.
Right.
If this will be the best season of My Hero so far, especially coming out of season 2, then there's no way they can stop. Right? The Shonen they're just gonna be like.
I do forget we're talking about Shonen. To be honest, I do forget we're talking about Shonen. Yeah.
You have to remember that it's them and they're not really too keen on stopping.
They like money.
Yeah. And people buy it. People buy it. And newcomers like me, I can't get into it because there's just too much to watch. You look at Dragon Ball, Naruto, Bleach, whatever it is, like it's like, wow, I could watch a lot of shows before I finish this one.
It's like me trying to tackle Naruto. I made it through the Naruto, but then we got to Shippuden, I still haven't finished it.
Then you have Boruto now. Naruto now I've seen is very commonly referred to just as Boruto's dad.
Yeah. They
just say Boruto and Boruto's dad. And I'm just like, I don't understand it at all, but it's fucking hilarious the way that they do that.
That's great.
But since there wasn't too much to talk on that, we're just going to slide in some Persona 5. This is mainly going to be me talking.
Right,
because you have not played the game yet. And you haven't watched it yet either, which I would say so far, if you have not played Persona 5, do not watch the anime. Do not watch it until after. It'll all be fan service for the most part. The animation is very, very... it's not too good compared to especially the animation done in the animated cutscenes within the game. not just done in the engine, but the actual anime in the game. Like, it looks so much better.
That's really odd.
Yeah.
I'm sure they made enough money off the game.
Oh, yeah. It's the best-selling Persona game ever. And it just... I watched a little bit of the Persona 4 anime, mainly because I hadn't beaten the game yet, so I didn't want to get too far. But I remembered it looking a lot better than this, and even just the what am I trying to say? The flow of the show was done a lot better. I think there was so much done at the beginning of the game that it was kind of hard to fit everything in the beginning, but it just doesn't feel the same. I don't know if it's because of the voice actors, because I played it with the dub voice actors, which were really, really good. And if they do have a dub of this, I will watch that also, just because how, like, Ryuji he has a great voice actor in the dub version of it. But there's one scene that's really bad, and I don't know if in the game you did an all-out attack yet, which is, it just goes to when you down all the enemies, you can go into an all-out attack, and it just has this animation where you're kind of bouncing off the enemy. They tried to do that in the show, and it did not look good at all. They try to recreate the in-game screens from the game within the show, and it doesn't weird. Look the same. It looks out of place. The music's great. The story's the same. You kind of still see the same stuff in terms of a couple of the early characters, namely Shiho, which there's one part that happens earlier in the game that's very shocking that I want you to experience raw if you ever get to it.
I will. I'm about to start being home more. So.
Are you though?
I am.
Okay. All right. I'll tell you.
Save that money.
All I have is to take your word for it.
Yeah. You're right.
You better.
Oh, I will.
Okay. But
I mean, I'm already 15 hours in the game, so
that's like.
I know, but I know enough to know I like it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's just getting around to it, and my PlayStation is doing the white light deal, so.
Oh.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to get a new one.
You're gonna get a new Sailor Moon skin?
Of course.
Okay. It looks pretty dope from here. I'm not gonna lie. Like, it looks good.
I actually forgot I was in here.
You even pointed behind you when you said it. My PS4, and you're like, "Oh, I forgot it was there." But even so when Persona 5 came out, they came out with the Daybreakers, which was, it followed one of the side missions that you get probably 50, 60 hours into the game, and that when I watched that a few times, and it's like, it's just one episode, and it was amazing. The animations were great. It didn't look derpy. Like, some of from far away, the characters look derpy. Yeah. And it's just, there's already memes going around.
They probably cut some corners on animation.
It was definitely rushed.
I was about to say it's rushed.
Tell it was rushed. There's supposed to be 24 episodes, and for this game, it was longer than Persona 4 by a good couple of hours. But I'm just afraid that there's going to be some side characters that we don't get to meet at all. Because some of them, if you do max out their confidants, they do play a pretty big role in what you do. We'll just have to see. We're 3 episodes in. It's one of those shows that I can kind of relax and watch because I already know what's going to happen.
Right.
Just trying to see if they do anything different, which they really haven't. It's just, in a game that big, you kind of have to just shave a couple of things off before being able to put it out there, because it's all about the dungeon crawling, grinding of it. But speaking of games, Benjamin, I need to ask you a question.
Okay.
Is love hard for otaku?
It is.
Is it?
It is.
It looks
mean, speaking to someone that has a hard time with that, yes.
It looks pretty hard, especially in this next show, Watakoi, Love is Hard for Otaku, which you literally just watched probably a couple of hours ago.
Right.
Well, not a couple of hours ago. Probably like an hour and a half. It's good. It's real good.
It is.
It's one of like there's a lot of good shows out there, and this is one of those. Right now, it's sitting at a 7.87, which is pretty high for this. It's a slice of life, rom-com basically, between these two otakus who know each other from middle school, and they just started working at the same business, the same office. And first episode, you were not expecting it. I was not expecting it when I first watched it, but he just straight up said, "So why don't you go out with me?"
Yeah, that was crazy. I was not expecting that at all.
I'm what you're looking for, and technically, because she said she didn't want to date an otaku, but she didn't really have very many good reasons for it. But he just straight up said, "Why not me?"
Yeah, we have Narumi, or Momose, as they call her.
Yeah.
And Nifuji.
Oh, you're going to look up on your phone, huh?
I didn't know if you had it on there.
Down.
I didn't know if you did. It's not on here. It's back here. There we go.
Yeah.
Hey.
Yeah.
Hey.
Wow. I will never do this much work for you ever again.
You have to.
I don't have to.
Oh.
Only Jesus tells me what to do. But it's different because it's not, for so many shows, it's high school, it's middle school. These guys are, well, at least the guy, I don't know, I forget what was her name? Momose.
You have it there on the paper. Momose. They're both 26, by the way, because remember me talking about how I felt them because I'm 26?
I thought you said that just because it showed.
No, they're both.
Okay.
Better pay attention.
Okay, Nifuji. Okay, so they're both 26. Okay, so it's been a while since they've seen each other.
Definitely.
And it just so happens she left her previous job because people found out she was an otaku. Her boyfriend
left
of
her.
Almost 1 year. How do you keep it a secret?
That's a pretty good secret.
I guess they didn't live together. So if you don't live together, then it's a little bit easier to get away with it. But that has to mean that you didn't spend a lot of time together if you didn't know. Either that or she's just really good at hiding it. But as she comes to this new job, she's not very good at hiding it because somebody who knows her brings it up, which is Nifuji. That's a hard name to remember for whatever reason. I keep wanting to say Tada, which is another show you need to watch. But Nifuji, he is just a guy who doesn't care. He plays Monster Hunter on his Switch every day, every time that he can get a chance to.
Anytime, any day. Like, he's ready to go.
And he just does not care. But luckily, Momose comes into the best environment because he is surrounded by, one, her favorite cosplayer ever, who cosplays as a man, but she's a woman, and she has very big boobs.
Right, that gets pointed out in like the first 10 minutes of the episode.
Yes, once or twice that it has to be pointed out.
Oh, Hana-san.
And then the other guy, who is
Taro.
Yeah, Taro, who
he
is
definitely hides his super strong.
Yeah, he likes the.
He does not want anyone knowing.
He likes the magical girls. He likes the magical girls. He loves them.
The manga shop, that was so great.
It was good to kind of flesh out because it was kind of on the fence if he was
right
fully one, but then you get into it and he's just like.
To me, that was pretty good character development for the whole group.
Yeah,
you get to see them kind of nerding out a little bit.
They each kind of get their own sequence. Now, even with Momose, we haven't seen her fully at what she does, right? We don't get singles of her doing whatever she does in her free time as an otaku. But she also has a blog. I forget exactly what she was writing because her coworker, the one who does the cosplays, she read a lot of it and she was a fan. Right. So I forget what it was, but they were definitely connected in that way. But, in the beginning of the second episode, you see that Momose is very timid, embarrassed about dating. I don't know if it was embarrassed because she was dating Nifuji or this is just how she is either way.
I think it might have just been because they'd known each other so long. It was still kind of shocking to her. Like, she was obviously wanting to be with him, but like just kind of, I think, thinking about it later, it's kind of awkward because.
And then they're just both awkward.
Oh, so they're completely awkward characters.
Nefuji comes up. Momose thinks she's mad, and he's mad, and he's just like, nah.
He comes to her all affectionately. I'm like, whoa, wait, just a minute ago, like you were ready to destroy her.
Yeah, and which those little animations are funny as hell. Bringing in games to it and having like slick screens and everything. That's
run.
It's very unique. It's very unique.
I'm really enjoying it. I'm glad you brought this up to me because
that one's where it's 11 episodes. It's on Amazon Prime only,
which is odd.
Yeah, there's a couple of shows that I'm having to do the dirty on because there's two that are on High Dive, which is like $4 a month or something like that. I just don't want to do that for two shows that I'm not going to do anything after they're done. But it's definitely one of those shows that is just going to be a chill pill from Darling in the FRANXX, and when my hero gets bumped up, it'll be like another Takagi-san.
Oh yeah, definitely.
But all grown up and more just
nerdy,
very very nerdy. But yeah, that's about. Do you have any? You haven't been really watching anything this past week.
Yeah, I've been so busy this week.
Yeah, I made a very, very long script for the shows that at least I've been watching. There's a lot of good stuff. One that you definitely have to watch is Megalobox.
Yeah, you were telling me that's kind of old school centric.
Yeah, like I looked at it and I was like, this is a really old art style and I don't know if I can do it. And then I looked and it has an 843 on my anime list. And so it's definitely striking a chord with somebody. It's for some reason in the second episode I think you meet these or no, it's the third when they go actually into the city. They meet these like street kids or whatever, and then this hip hop music kind of plays in the background, and I was like, am I watching like Boondocks or something? I saw that and I was like, I don't know if I like this too much, but again, like I think it's really just a nostalgia trip.
I was about to say, it seems like it's really aimed at the older, old heads of anime. Yeah,
I think they shot it and then they basically tore it down and then brought it back up to like 720p. I think is what I read, but they really made it go back to that old art style. So that's another one. Obviously, Tada Never Falls in Love. It's just a straight rom-com. It's cute. It's definitely one I'm gonna finish. I don't think it's doing too many things interesting. It's just fun to watch. Like this past episode, the main character is the cat, and you get some pretty cool dialogue from him. Another one we'll probably talk about later on, Comic Girls. It's just what's commonly referred to as a moe show. It's just cute girls doing cute things. And
that sounds like me.
Yeah, it's so lighthearted. It's so cute, and it's. I mean, I wouldn't really compare it to another, just Takagi-san or whatever, but it's just something that's innocent. They have the goals that they want to do. They're manga artists, whatever. But it's definitely one of those shows. It has a 7.13, so it's nothing too amazing, but the ratings on these shows, that's why the ratings are kind of an awkward thing to do, because you see a 713 and you're like, it's, but then you go and watch it and I was like, no, it's good. These ratings are dumb because it's all subjective either way.
Yeah.
Then you have 3D Kanojo Real Girl, which is one that actually has the most potential for a plot point, I guess, because there's an expiration date to what the relationship, at least from what we know 3 episodes in, there's an expiration date to for the relationship that we have in there, right? So another one that you'll have to, I think it's like on Daily Motion, you can watch it or whatever. Right. But most of these, I wouldn't read what I have written down here because you might get a little spoiler. But it's only 3 episodes now.
Like most of these we're talking about, those will be touched on next episode.
Yeah.
Everyone, you're getting a heads up to the main of the next episode.
Yeah. And then there's Golden Kumai. I think Kamui. I don't know how you say that last one.
It looks like Kamui.
It's a 745. This is a historical show that's based after the Russo-Japanese War. So it was like right before World War One. Was the Russo-Japanese War was like the first time that that type of the World War One type styles of battle with these automatic, some of the automatic guns, the artillery, the naval power. It was the first time that kind of war has been seen, and
right.
They saw what type of damage it could have been done. But it has another one that actually has a plot that you can really get behind. Mm-hmm. I've heard the manga is really, really good. The only real complaint as I have is there's a bear fighting sequence, and the bear animation is just horrible. It looks trash. I looked at it and I was like, yeah, that bear, it does not fit in this thing at all. Mm-hmm. And that's really the only complaint that I've seen about it. There's food appreciation in it. They cook. There's the action. There's a little bit of history in it. And then they got a nice little plot to top it on over with.
Nice.
The last one that at least I've been watching, Akun to Kanojo.
Or a little shorty.
Akun and his girlfriend. I believe it translates to, or is, for whatever the English title is, My Sweet Tyrant. I don't understand it. But they run about 3 minutes apiece. It's about this guy who can't admit that he really, really thinks his girlfriend is cute and he really likes her. So he just says, "You're trash. Go away. I don't want to talk to you to her face."
Oh, we watched the first episode. I remember this.
Yeah,
this was so great and awkward.
It's like I can't remember if it was the last episode to come out or if it was the second. There's one that he actually slips up and like hugs her for whatever reason, and he I think he doesn't come to school the next day, right? Because he just couldn't. And even while he's hugging her, his girlfriend's just like, okay, he's doing this. He's in deer mode, you know. She knows what's gonna happen, and then he comes out of it, and then he like wonders. It looks like, what the hell did I just do? Sprints off and is like, oh, he's back to normal now, and then he comes back to school and he does something again, and then he's like gone for the next week. And he's just recuperating to whatever happens. It's at a 6.5, but I think that's mainly because it's 3 minutes long.
Yeah, more than likely.
In a show that maybe could be longer than that, depending on what they do with the characters. Because at this point, it just seems like Akun is not going to ever full front like his girlfriend very much. But to round it off, we're just going to have a little bit of news since we're about an hour and 20 into this.
Dang.
We just got some news. Right now, it's Studio Ghibli Fest 2018 happening right now. I think one movie has already aired, but The Cat Returns started airing on the 22nd. It'll go to the 23rd and 25th will be other days they'll be showing. You'll have to look around to your local theaters to see where that is being aired. Something I'm hyped about, the figures, or a couple of figures for Darling and the FRANXX.
You did this to me.
The Strelitzia and 02 figures have been announced, and they're saying that they're going to be released in October.
This is something I promised myself I would never do.
You're going to buy it.
In the 20 years I've been doing this.
20 years. You told the future that there was going to be Darling in the FRANXX, huh?
I'm talking about figures here.
Don't worry about it.
I told myself I was going to stop buying them.
You just got one in today.
Yeah.
You just got one. Are you talking about figures, or are you talking about... Does that count the pops?
Hey. Pops are different now.
So they're not figures?
Not really.
What are they?
Okay, they're figures.
They're called pop figures.
Shut up. In fact, if anyone's looking to buy some, I got quite a few I'm selling, so I can buy some more anime
I didn't know they had the baby metal ones.
Oh yeah, I got the baby metal ones.
I didn't know they did that. Baby metal's big, dude. But those figures are going to release in October. The pre-orders, apparently, I'm going to guess from what I gathered, they're going to release on April 22nd, or start. The pre-orders are going to start on April 22nd. This is a Friday, which I will be on that. The 02 figures made by SH Figure Arts, which kind of looks like a Figma. Movable areas, which I'm not liking too much. Depending on the price of it, if it's over $50, I'm not doing it.
Well, we've already done was it the Sega ones?
Yeah.
We already got those.
The Sega prize figures. Yeah. They, I think in June, if I remember on the website, they said that they were going to come out. Hopefully, that's when it is.
I hope. I don't want to wait till August.
The Strelitzia mech, which has movable, you can move it, which I'm fine because I cannot make the humans look right on the Figma figures. They look derpy, and I was like, give me a scale for anything human. But the mech, Robot Damamashi, I've heard nothing but good things about that. I've heard weird things about SH, but I guess we'll see. And we're still waiting on the Ichigo and Delphinium versions of this. Which
they can burn.
No, I'm going to buy Delphinium.
You do that.
I'm going to buy
Don't bring
Delphinium.
it around me.
See, I can appreciate this.
Oh,
okay?
you appreciate
the characters. All right, Ben. All right. Well, I think this has been episode 2 of the No Waifu, No Laifu podcast.
That we said was going to be shorter, and it's definitely not shorter.
Darling the Franks took up a lot. We had 2 weeks of stuff to talk about.
That is right. That is right.
All right, we're going to have to come up with some different mainline topics other than shows to talk about. If you have any suggestions, though, hit us up on social medias. I am slice_of_Josh on Instagram. I guess that's the only way that you could reach me, at least through here. Put comments on the SoundCloud. I am planning on uploading these to YouTube. I think it rendered all the way, but episode 1 should be up on
awesome.
YouTube.
Okay.
The YouTube name is just no waifu, no Laifu. I just put various 02 pictures as the background.
Of course.
Which I guess would, before we go.
Oh, it is the next week.
Waifu of the week. I'm gonna make something bold here. I'm gonna bend this. You ready?
Go ahead.
I want you to guess real quick.
You want me to guess? I hate guessing.
It's fun to guess.
Put on the spot. I'm actually looking for mine because I can't remember her name. But I think it's gonna be Ichigo.
No.
Good. Silly.
It's Goro, bro. It's Goro.
It's Goro is Waifu of the week.
I mark Goro as Go-Bro of the week. As Bro of the week, Waifu of the week, I don't care. He saved Darling in the Franxx single-handedly throughout the past 2 episodes. That is mine. Ben, let's hear your mediocre decision.
My mediocre decision. I'm following my typical go-to.
Your go-to.
Yeah. Pink hair, don't care. Momose.
Momose.
Yeah, I like her.
Cute.
I like her.
Her voice is a little weird.
Yeah, her voice
cute.
is weird, but she's definitely cute with the whole
quirky.
matching outfit.
Yeah,
you know?
she's quirky.
She's quirky and a little crazy.
All right. Well, again, mine beat out yours, but I guess it's been episode 2. Shake my hand right there. Put her there. Put her there, pal.
Put her pal.
Partner.
Partner.
Again, follow the podcast, listen to the podcast.
We do have an Instagram. It's NWNL podcast.
Follow
not
us
really
there.
we're not really doing much on it because as I've been busy, but.
And I guess we can announce this now. The No Waifu, No Laifu podcast will be at MomoCon 2018.
We will be.
Sometime in May, like whatever the Saturday date is.
We'll be there Saturday.
So if you want to come say hey to us, we'll be there.
And more than likely, I think we're going to try and do the podcast that night.
Yeah, we could do it. I mean, the setup's on the go. I can do it anywhere. Not outside right now because it's raining. But, yes. So, MomoCon. So, if you're, I guess, most of the people that are going to be listening to it right now are going to be in Georgia.
Right.
But MomoCon is in Atlanta in May, May 24th. So, we'll be there, and we hope to see you there.
Definitely.
And this has been episode 2 of the No Waifu, No Laifu podcast. And we'll talk to you guys later.
We're out of here.